most often you'd want your fourth line to play a simple kind of style. Is that what they've been doing and been doing well?
Very well. And we've talked about this a lot, about those guys that have been in and out of the lineup on how hard it has been to decide which three should be playing in that spot. And it doesn't matter which combinations we've used, whoever it's been, they play the same way. They go out, they try to outwork their opponent. They scratch and claw for every inch of ice out there, and they've contributed offensively. I mean, they've done a great job for us. So that's kind of, from a coaching perspective, you want to be put in a bad position where you're like, holy cow, who do I sit out? These guys are all in a position that are value to your team. So you got to give them a lot of credit. They've all stayed ready. They've all had solid attitudes of, when I get in there, I'm going to do my best to help us. And, I'm real happy for that group of players to see them, contribute offensively. And, at the end of the game, I think their teammates know as well how important they are to our team and our success.
Andy? Tony, this is obviously a unique trip. How do you view it as a coach going in there, going to these two places, back-to-back date? Well, not back-to-back days, but in an arrangement like this. What are your thoughts going into this?
I think it's exciting. I think it's exciting for a lot of fans. They're going to be able to go out there and I heard of a lot of them going to both of the games. But obviously the one in New York City, a lot of our alum that are out on the East Coast are going to be there, which will be exciting. But I think, it's another opportunity for us. We just played a top 6 team. I don't know where Ohio State is now, but they're certainly a top 10 team consistently all year. So it gives us another challenge to face a top 10 team on the road. They're a team that obviously, if we're going to do well this year, we have to play well against them and have some success against them. So it's a great challenge for us. We're coming off of a weekend where a lot of it went well for us, but I think there's still room for improvement as we move along. And I think we can be better against them and come up with a pretty good game plan against them, and looking forward to that challenge. Jeff?
Tony, in addition, over to your left, in addition to, the victory and the overtime loss and how you played, what good things came out of it that you can show your players where you are, where you're going, and what this team can still accomplish this year from how you played this past weekend? It's
a really good question. I think both of the games probably the slowest starts we've had in games all year, and it happened back-to-back. I think there were quite a few factors that went into that. I think the biggest one is we had a lot of respect for the other team. And when you respect the other team and you sit back and try to wait and feel out to see how the game's going to go, you're going to give the other team a chance to get to their game very fast. And they exposed us early in the games, in the first periods, both nights. And fortunately, our goalies were both ready to keep us in there. I think that's, that really was the reason we were in both games early. And then we battled back like crazy once we got going. So I liked a lot of things as the games went on both of the nights. But I think our start, and when you play a top team, we did it in Denver as well. We started the game in Denver wondering, geez, do we belong on the ice with these guys, or how do we stop them? And I think our attitude is got to be, how do they stop us? We got a lot of things in our game that are difficult to defend and hard to play against. And when we initiate how the game's going to be played early in games, that's a much better way of having success than what we did this weekend. So I think that's the biggest lesson from what last week was for us. We have to be better. When we play Ohio State and Penn State, these other top teams, or we go back to Minnesota, we're going to have to be ready at the start of games to have success.
What you just said about our mindset has to be, how are they going to stop us? I'm assuming that's a message you delivered, if not after the first period Friday night, between the two games this weekend?
It's been pretty consistent all year, and that's a belief that we have to have in ourselves. And there's no reason for us not to believe that we can match up against anybody with the teams we've played and how we've played them. Even you look at our losses, at the end of the game, you're like, okay, the team we just played, even though they beat us, we can beat that team. And that's what we have to feel about ourselves. That's the way we have to play from the start of games. Like I said, this was really the first weekend that happened in back-to-back games. So against Ohio State, who is going to come at us hard, they're going to skate, they're going to work, they're going to have speed that we're going to have to deal with. But they should be looking at us on what they have to deal with us.
Don, do you have any particular memories of playing at Madison Square Garden that stand out to you? I know you scored your first NHL goal there. Anything else that comes to mind?
Did Andy have you asked that question? Because I told him this morning I want to talk about Madison Square Garden. Yeah, let's see. Well, I loved playing there. It was when I left here, that was my first chance to play pro hockey. Was with the Rangers. Was treated very well there. I loved the fans. Loved playing in the Garden. Had some pretty good teammates there with Mike Richter alongside me. Brian Leach was there my rookie year. He was a rookie as well. So I got a lot of great memories. I loved it. I'm looking forward to seeing some friends when we do go back there. But I think for our team, for the experience of having a chance to play a collegiate game and go to an NHL facility like that will be very special for our group. And since I do have some familiarity with that place, hopefully we can have a great performance and remember it for a long time.
Andy? Tony, you played in a lot of iconic venues in the NHL. Where does Madison Square Garden rank in terms of history, in terms of uniqueness for you?
Close to the top. Chicago Stadium was one, because that was unique in itself, and that's where I grew up, and that's where I played my first game in the NHL. But Madison Square Garden, Montreal Forum, the old Forum, old Maple Leaf Garden, kind of the old buildings, and this is really one of the old traditional buildings still left. You got Joe Louis kind of still hanging around for another year, but that still doesn't date back as far as the Garden does. So what's the name of that garden? What do they call themselves? Come on, what's Madison Square Garden? No. It's the World Arena. Most famous arena in the world, right? Something like that? Yeah. That's where we're going, the most famous arena in the world. Andy, you should know that answer. So, no, it's a phenomenal place. So many major sporting events have happened there. And I would venture to guess probably not a lot of our guys have been in that building. So we're going to go up to the 5th floor or 4th floor. What floor is the arena on? 4 or 5. Take the elevator to 4 or 5 and you'll get off at ice level. No more questions about Madison Square Garden.
About Madison Square, no. About your fourth line again, if I could ask.
Yes.
What's the competition level like that you see in practice between those guys? And have you had to mentally take notes on, I see this guy
Respect.
pushing a little bit?
Respect. They respect each other's position. They push each other. They want to be the best line in practice. They want to be the hardest working. They want to be out there first, and they want to finish every drill. They want to be first in line. That group is a unique group. Sometimes you get in a team where some guys are in and out of the lineup, and they're trying to pull more guys with them to be on their side, like, oh, man, this is no good, and things are tough here, and this isn't right. They're the opposite. They're pushing each other, and they're staying ready. And when they've gotten their opportunities, to get in there, and sometimes they might play 10 or 11 minutes a game and not get 14 or 15 or 16 like other lines. It doesn't matter. When they're on the ice, they're making the most of those minutes, and it really has been a huge part of what our team is right now, and they deserve a lot of credit for what happened on the weekend and how we played against Mini.
Andy? Tony, you've changed the makeup of that fourth line quite a bit over this season, but most recently, the common denominator has been Matt Ustaski in the middle. What's his evolution been like from your point of view throughout this season?
I think he's progressing well, in a big body down the middle, with really good skill. You saw some of the plays he's finished. You saw some of the chances he's created offensively. I think he's gained a lot of confidence. I think early in the year when he was in that competition, he wasn't sure how to handle it, and he kind of got timid and was trying to play on the defensive side of it. And he's got a lot of upside offensively that you can use in that spot. And so his maturity has been great. His confidence as a player, you're starting to see him. When he gets the puck now, he's finding plays. He's not just getting rid of it, and he's ready to jump over the boards. And I saw his potential. I think on where he could go, he can move himself up in the lineup, whether or not be this year, for sure next year with the way he's going. And we want to keep seeing progress and growth out of all our players. And I think he has a big upside there.